Good morning, Stitch Roadie friends. Thank you for stopping by. This is a channel, if you're new, this is a channel about cross stitch, reading, life, stuff, haul. I don't know what category stuff would be. Everything else that doesn't fit into a specific category. Anyway, I know a lot of you who have been traveling along with me on this journey, this cross-stitch journey, are wondering about Enzo, why he's not showing his face. But he is still here. The problem is that he's kind of embarrassed. Yeah, he's kind of embarrassed because Mom couldn't find his non-holiday attire. I put it someplace here in the Bee Hive, and so when he went to change out of his Christmas attire to his daily attire, I couldn't find it, and I know it's here somewhere. So he is not willing, but he says hi. He's just not willing to bare his soul, to say it politely. Yeah. Okay. Say goodbye to everybody. Yeah. Well, it has been a bit of a little bit of chaos here in the Bee Hive. That's what I call my crafting room. I have my drink. My voice is sounding a little bit better. I'm snacking on my favorite snack, which is Skinny Pop salt and pepper popcorn. I love the pepper. So I'm all set for today. This last week, let's see, what's been going on this last week? G actually got out yesterday for a hike. It has not happened for weeks, if not over a month for sure. And we had a little bit of a break in the weather. Today it is overcast and rainy, sprinkly, I should say. But we did make a trek to Costco, and it was absolutely lovely because one of the guys was telling me that the day after the big storm, you know, if you've ever watched Vicar of Dibley, when they're sitting around the table having their parish meeting and they talk about the big storm, yeah, it's big. It was big, and we couldn't get out of our house, nor could we have internet or Wi-Fi. So it was quite the adventure. I did get a lot of stitching in because what are you gonna do? Stitching and quilting, that's what I did. But when I was at Costco this morning, the guy said, I said, this is absolutely lovely. I mean, it got a lovely parking space. I walked right in, and I, you know, didn't have to dodge a million other carts. I could casually shop. And he said, yes, but the 2 days after the big storm, it was chaos because people were stocking up. You know, it's like the toilet paper. It's the toilet paper syndrome. We have been preconditioned now to fear all these events. But it was lovely this morning, so I got my Costco run out of the way. I did spend a lot of time on a book, and it is, I highly recommend it. It is called The Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. And it is about, what could I say it's about? I mean, I loved it because one of the main characters is an octopus. And I know some of you are going, I'm going to read a book about an octopus. But if you've ever seen that Netflix series, I think it's called My Octopus Teacher. Is it on Netflix or Prime? I'm not sure, but it's called My Octopus Teacher. You come to realize how very, very smart octopi are. Is that the plural for octopus? So This particular book is a lovely book about a woman who's a janitor in an aquarium, a nighttime janitor in an aquarium. It's about the community she lives in, the people, and the octopus, Marcellus. And the reason I'm not leading you down a path. It's truly a lovely little story. And the reason I love it, I might have said this before, I don't know, but where I used to live, I always, my parents were ocean people. And there was a place in the community where oceanographers did some studying, and they had tanks of all kinds of ocean creatures. And one time the facility got flooded because the octopus, who they are very smart, way smarter than us, got out of the tank and this really happened, I'm telling you, this really turned all the dials to open the pipes and flooded the place. So now these oceanographers are trying to figure out how to not let this happen again. And so what they came up with was Chinese puzzle boxes that they put a treat in the center. And so the octopus would spend the night working on the puzzle box. I mean, and this is true. This is a true story. So, Remarkably Bright Creatures, a lovely read, an absolutely lovely read. And so I've moved on to A Little Ray of Sunshine by Kristen Higgins. And that is also a lovely read. A totally different story. You can look up what the synopsis is, but I'm very much enjoying that. So that's my book recommendations for this month. My first book recommendations for 2024. We just finished up. And this is a channel about cross stitch. Did I tell you that? Yeah. We just finished up Reacher, which is on Prime. And it's quite violent. But I read all the Reacher books back in the day. Not in the last 5 years, but back in the day I read all the Reacher books. So I feel like I know him. So when the movie came out with Tom Cruise, I'm sorry. Somebody, the casting person, got Reacher all wrong. Because Tom Cruise, although a great actor, does not fit visually what the books make you think about Reacher. And so this series totally embraces what he was like. So we finished up season 2, and probably we'll be looking forward to season 3. Okay. I think that's I might end up putting a little bit of life updates in between. Oh, my friend Cheryl came by and stitched for a little bit yesterday, and it was lovely because neither of us could get out of our house for quite a while. I mean, it was pretty bad around here. And her husband he has a tree business where he cuts down trees, he trims trees, he, looks at trees, he gives you tree recommendations, and he's been very busy because there's been a ton of trees that have gone down in the area. And so he's been busy, and she has been at home with the chickens and Jake. But it was so fun to have just a little bit of time to stitch together yesterday. It was fun. And this coming weekend is Acorn Gathering, which is a one-day secret event at Acorns and Threads with a secret designer. And I am telling you, no matter how many different ways I try to trick Janine into spilling the beans, she has not. She is like a trap. She's not letting any information out. So it's going to be exciting. I mean, I was one of the kids that kind of peeled the Christmas wrapping paper off and would get in trouble. So this has been somewhat of a challenge this week, not knowing what I was getting into. But I'm looking forward to acorn gathering, and I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who the designer is or what the project is. And it's one day, which is, there is an in-person and a Zoom. So it's been something to look forward to. Yeah. And coming up in March is the sign-ups for Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit, which is like a 3-day event held at a hotel. And I can't wait for that. That's going to be lots of fun. And from what I understand, hope I get this right, it's Teresa Kogut and Beth Twist on my favorites list. Yeah. So I have been extraordinarily, can I say that? Extraordinarily successful. Extraordinarily successful at my book-a-days. And I'm loving how I have it laid out. It's working for me. Everybody has their own way of motivating themselves and keeping track. Everybody has their own way of doing it, and it has to fit your brain and your heart for it to be successful. So the dry erase board, I have my whips listed, which there are 33. I have my finish list. So as I finish something, I erase it off the whip list and put it under the finish. And then if I FFO, I have a separate list. And then on the fourth list, I have starts, because the starts in 2024, the way I'm the boss of me, nobody's the boss of me. The 2024 starts are not part of the whip list. The whip list is what I brought forward that was already started. We need starts. I mean, the whole concept of I'm not starting anything for a year, I actually would need a Valium. Yeah, so we need starts, but being able to keep track and have a little bit of moderation, yeah, is good. So I have the dry erase board that's hanging on the side of the cabinet, so when I walk into this room, that's what I see. And I love it. The book of days, what I have done is I have listed what I would like to stitch on each month. So I have the Sal, which is the No Time Like the Present Modern Folk Embroidery Sal. I want to stitch on a Christmas ornament every month. Now, it doesn't have to be finished. I give myself a silver star for having touched it. And by touched it, I mean you have to have taken just a few stitches. So, Christmas ornament every month. A Halloween piece to have stitched on and again, I'm reinforcing, not finishing, just stitching on it. So Halloween project, a Christmas project, not an ornament, but a Christmas project, and an autumn or Thanksgiving project. I have now reached all my silver stars. Then each day, all I do is write down on that day what I stitched on. So the rest of the month, each day I just listed what I stitch on. And sometimes I don't actually get to list it till the next morning, and I go, okay, what did I do yesterday? And I fill it in. It's not like, I'm trying to make it not like homework, where I feel like Sister Theodosia's with her ruler. And then gold stars. I know, this is like the things we do to play with our brain. The gold stars are finishes. So if I finish something, I put a gold star next to it. And as you can see, I have finished 3 things this month already. And then the red stars are starts, where I started something new. So this is amazing. And I mean, I think this is amazing. And then I listed the SALs that I'm participating in, just to remind myself. And so next month, I already have listed in February an extra SAL, because I added a SAL that I'm doing. So the SALs that I'm currently doing are the Modern Folk Embroidery SAL 2024, the Love My Stitch SAL, the hashtag Finish a Prairie Schooler, Start a Prairie Schooler, and then with the Camping Stitcher, I'm going to start hashtag Leap Year 2024 SAL. And I listed it there, although I do not know currently what the SAL would be. I haven't decided which one I want to start on the leap year. So it's kind of exciting to think about. I do know I'm going to have a couple of, well, there'll be 3 new starts in February, because G's birthday is in February. He's a groundhog baby. And so I went on to the Camping Stitchers site, and I'll put that link down in the drop-down box, and got a PDF. And so for on G's birthday, I'm starting this. Isn't that sweet? And the exciting part is, because of my floss organization, I am going to do a conversion. I know. It's a cross-stitch religious experience. So I'm going to pick my own colors out for this. And then on Valentine's Day, I am going to start, because, you know, we like to start stuff for any reason we can think about. But the Camping Stitcher, I downloaded a PDF off of her site, and it's called Love You Most. And I'm going to start that on Valentine's Day. Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty darn exciting. It's pretty darn exciting to have something to look forward to. So that's my talk about the Book of Days. And really, you can do that system, make those check boxes on any way that you're keeping track of your cross stitch, anyway. So I did get some haul, and this is from the Primitive Hair. I ordered a couple of pieces of fabric from her. One piece, I'm not going to unroll it, but it's 40 count white flakes. Oh no, it says 40 count. And out in here it says 30 count linen. Oh boy, Janine's going to have to figure it out for me. But it's this pretty fabric that I want to do the Christmas list on, that's on her site. So I got that, and for the life of me, I don't know why I bought this one, but I love mushrooms, and this particular linen is called the Magic Mushrooms, and you can see it's printed on the fabric. It's just gorgeous. So I'm gonna have to figure out what, I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. Okay. I can't find one of my hauls, and I'm kind of worried about it. I ordered this gorgeous floss bling. Did I show it to you? I ordered this gorgeous floss bling from Chris Yo, and I can't find it anywhere. I don't know if I put it in a project box, but I thought I was going to leave it out, and I've torn apart my sewing room. I honestly, I mean, Enzo and I looked for his clothes for an hour. It's hard to know. It's hard to know. But I got a beautiful gift from Under the Woolen Willow. And this is, I haven't opened it up. I've been waiting to open it up in front of you. Oh my gosh. Happy New Year, Anna. May 2024 bring you much contented. Enjoy, Michelle. You've got to go check out her site. I mean, it's eye candy. She makes bowl fillers. She does silk patterns. Oh, this is so lovely. Look at that. Crocheted, and it says my word of the year, contentment. Oh, Michelle, thank you so much. But look at this. My word of the year pillow. Oh my gosh. She probably was going, couldn't she have picked a shorter word? But contentment. Oh, this is so lovely. And then it has the year and a year bling and the heart, and it says word of the year, contentment, a state of happiness and satisfaction. That is exactly what I'm looking forward to. Oh my gosh, this is absolutely, I'm going to be putting this out on my shelf to remind myself that yes, this is my year. This is my year for contentment. One of the ways I start my morning, you know, I am a person of ritual, I guess. I have to start my morning a certain way to get it balanced and on the way. Oh my gosh, I am a poet. I am an absolute poet. Oh, so, you know, I've told you this before, I like candles in the morning. And various places in my downstairs, well, G and I have our coffee, and the first thing I do is play New York time games. Before I stitch my Prairie Schooler Santa or anything else, I play New York time games, and I play Spelling Bee, the mini crossword, Wordle, and Connections. And I'm pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. But the one that trips me up most, I mean, I actually lose at this game a certain percentage of time, is the Connections game. Because you have to think outside the box. You have to make connections with these words that are not just knee-jerk. I tend to jump feet first and like, oh, I don't have my inner tube on, or you know that. And so this game, out of all four of them that I play in the morning, gives me pause and forces me to slow down and think outside the box. And so it actually is my favorite game because it's slowly changing my pattern of behavior or brain waves, maybe. I think it is. But so I do that in the morning before, while I'm having my coffee. And G knows when I'm really happy that I won. Celebrate! Celebrate! So what have I been stitching on? Well, because of the Book of Days. Oh, and I finished my designated stitch. But unfortunately, whether it gets framed in time for his birthday will be up in the air. Because of the ice storm, it kind of stopped delivery of everything, and then people couldn't get to work. I mean, literally, people could not get to work because it's like a sheet of ice. You can't drive on it. So I did get it into the framer, but whether it gets framed and returned back by his birthday, I don't know. But it's done. So I moved on to my next designated stitch, which by popular demand, and because I just needed to, was the trees. And I'm going to show you what I've done. So the trees are a Renato Perelin pattern, and you can go on the site and order the trees. But let me just give you a little backstory of the trees. My girlfriends and I, years ago, I mean, it's over 5 years. Yeah. Gosh, it could be 8 years. 9 years? Anyway, we went on a tour to the largest quilt show in Europe. And it included a tour of France and part of Germany. And it was absolutely lovely. And it was the largest vendor mall in Europe at the time. Yeah, did you hear that? Yeah. I mean, it's so lovely. It was so lovely. I mean, the quilts were hung outside in 4 different villages and in churches and public buildings, and then this giant vendor mall. Giant vendor mall. Well, it was quilting, but when we went down one aisle, there was a cross-stitch model stitched of the trees. And we both fell in love with it. And so we both chipped in money and bought the pattern. I thought it was in French. I even took French in high school. I thought it was in French, but it was Italian. But at that time, I lived on the other side of the mountain. And so I took the pattern to Acorns and Threads. And this is in the early days when rarely did I go to Acorns and Threads because I lived on the other side of the mountain. But I took the pattern to Janine and asked her to kit it up. 2 of them, one for my girlfriend and one for me, to kit it up. And so she picked the fabric out and the thread. My girlfriend got hers done like probably 3 or 4 years ago. I did not. And I stopped at a certain tree because it was so freaking big. It was a big tree. It was like the trees that fell down this last week. It was huge. And it's so interesting to go back. I know I'm a little chatty today, but it's so interesting to go back on how you stitched on older projects or what fabrics you chose, or, it's just, it's a way to see your progression, because like now I am liking the 36 and 40 count, but this is my working coffee, and I'm just going to show you. This is the tree that I just stitched, and this is how I had been doing it all along. So I use a yellow highlighter, so I didn't change my modus operandi because I didn't want to confuse myself. You know, everybody inside here was saying, oh, don't do it. Don't try to load that now into your pattern keeper. Don't do it. Just keep the course. Keep the course. And so we had a committee meeting and decided, yes, I would just keep the course. So just to show you, so it's all copied and wadded up, and I use these, my little quilting clips, and I know you're not supposed to show the chart, but I am going to show this part of it because you will never be able to copy this. So I just finished that tree. And so you know, this is how much I have left to do. This. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more trees and 6 deer and several bushes and a ton of birds. But since it's my designated stitch, I can tell this will be a 2024 finish, which is very exciting. Very exciting. Now, when you see it, I'm going to show it to you, but when you see it, you will understand why I might need to go back to work. Because my girlfriend framed it 3 or 4 years ago, and when she told me how much it cost her to frame hers, all I know is that it is now so much more framing. And the difference with this particular chart being an older chart was that I'm stitching it all in hand. I'm not changing how I'm doing this stitch. It is going to continue in hand, and so when I am stitching, I use those little magnetic rubber clips and I wad it all up and I just stitch it like that. And so since the second week in January, I finished the big old tree. So I'm going to show you this so you'll know what this means for framing. I have not put any of the birds in, which I wish I had. Okay, so here we go. Here's the start. I mean, look, let's see, look at this, look at this. Oh my gosh. So I have this much to go. I can do it. I can do it. But look at that. I mean, that like, and where am I going to hang this thing? And you better believe that I will add a wall to this house to hang it up. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. It's so interesting to see it all done. And the reason, I mean, one of the inspirations for me was Cassie Jo Stitches. You can see her on Instagram. She did it. She did it and she finished it. The only excuse I have for why I didn't finish it is I'm so much older than her, and she still has children at home. And I think when you have children at home, you're constantly going like this, so your fingers are way more toned for quicker stitching. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, I haven't unrolled this till now, and I almost want to put you on pause so I can sit here and admire. Wow, I cannot believe this. These trees are the absolute worst. These ones here. Oh my gosh, they're the absolute worst. So that is a designated stitch. Then, because of my book of days, what I'm stitching on the Halloween stitch was the Autumn at Hawkrun Hollow. No, I take that back. That's my autumn stitch. Duh. Autumn at Hawkrun Hollow. But I am not doing this whole chart. I am doing 4 of them and making a cube. So 2 are more Halloween themed and 2 are more Thanksgiving themed. So I can move them back and forth on the shelf. And because I started this a while ago, when we were doing Thursday Stitch, Hawkrun Hollow Stitch on Thursday at Acorns and Threads, it was interesting to go back because on this particular one, I was doing only 1 thread, and when I picked it back up, I did not like it at all. And so I stitched a 2nd thread over this cat to fill him in better. Yeah, so now I'm doing that on 2 stitches, and I have no idea what fabric that is, but I have 4 pieces all cut out and ready for my cube. My Halloween stitch, this gorgeous bag, is from the Fat Quarter Shop. This is a Chris Yo bag. It's absolutely gorgeous. And it's the Halloween calendar. And so this month what I did was I added 4 more squares and finished the Happy Halloween. And what I'm doing on this particular one is I am doing 2 threads on the grid and the Happy Halloween, and the little figures in the calendar are 1 thread. And I think that is perfect. And I love this fabric, although I have no clue what it is. But this was from the Fat Quarter Shop. Let's see. Then my Christmas stitch is also from the Fat Quarter Shop, and this was Christmas Rules. And I started stitching that bottom segment, Build a Snowman. So what I intend to do is when I finish like this Christmas stitch, then I'm going to pick another Christmas stitch that I've already started. And if I haven't started one, I mean that's in my whip thing, but if I haven't started it, then I'm going to get to pick a new one. Now I've been trying out different stands, you know, because we can't just live with one stand. And so I've been trying out the Patoki stand with my Q-snaps, and I'm working on the January. And this is with 1 thread, and this is the one that I'm doing, is this colorway here. And I got this from Evertote. I just love the clock. Yeah, I just love the clock. And I got a Lowry stand this week after Sampler Symposium, watching everybody stitch, you know. And so I'm going to be trying that out, and I'll give you a review of that. Last month when we had our oh boy, the garbage guy is here. Those aren't all my liquor bottles. No, I swear those are not my liquor bottles. We did a whip exchange. Beth Twist started it. Those really are not my liquor. Okay. Okay. Yeah, big deniability there, huh? So, last month at Mountain Stitchers, which Beth Twist started, we did a whip exchange, and I actually stole already finished stitches that Beth had thrown in the thing. And so they were just little stitches that she had done, and I decided that I want to finish, finished one. And so I fully finished one of those stitches. And what I did was I made this little needle book. So Beth had stitched that, and so I made it into a needle book. So I put felt pages in there, and then I put my little label on the back. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself. Okay, I think that's it. I think my battery's going to run down. I really appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with me. And I'm looking forward to some breaks in the weather. I'm looking forward to acorn gathering. And I hope our paths cross, because at Sampler Symposium, crossing paths with people that you see on the internet or that you talk to on Instagram is just so lovely. And that's why I encourage you to occasionally sign up for a workshop where you meet somebody. But before I let you go, I want you to see a fully finished item that I made. And I'm telling you, it's full coverage, and I cannot believe I got a full coverage done and fully finished. But I'm going to show it to you right now. Stay tuned. Be prepared. I want to hear gasping and oh my, is she fabulous. Okay, here we go. Isn't that so cute? It's a full coverage piece, and I finished it. It came in a Sewing the Good Life. They have kits. It came with the little frame, and it's perforated paper. So, but now I have in my resume fully finished cross stitch. Yes. Okay. See you the next time. You know I love you guys. You take care.